Good evening to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the peace deal between Israel and Hamas, an important editorial, and not too many words to learn, but a few expressions are important. Let us start with the tone of the editorial. The tone of the editorial appears to be critical of Israel's military actions in Gaza and emphasizes the need for a lasting ceasefire. There are two important words over here. One is lasting. Here, when you look at this word, you may think there are two possibilities. One, last, another last. The first, the last. But here, lasting. Last means what? To be, to exist, exist for a long time. I'm sure you all know this. Last means what? Exist for a long time. And cease fire. Cease means to stop, to bring to an end. Cease fire. Stop fighting and stop the war. What is how does it start? Very good. Lasting, enduring. You have started. I appreciate that. Glimmer of hope. An important expression. Glimmer of hope is an idiomatic expression, a standard expression. What does it mean? Glimmer of hope means a small chance of hope. Hope is there, a small chance. Yes, that is true, Manasa. You remember, I used to talk about him. Truce also, you can think of the word. Who is that? Ganesh. Truce, peace, show the olive branch. So many are there. A small chance of hope. About what? On the Israel Hamas deal. This is how it starts. But what is the main idea of this editorial? The pause in war after the hostage release deal gives the peace a chance. They have been fighting almost 2 months, I suppose. Now it talks about the pause in war after. When did it happen? The pause after the hostage release deal gives peace a chance. Because of this deal, and this deal came into existence after the hostage release deal, when the deal came into existence, then some sort of hope, glimmer of hope. A familiar topic, the Israel Hamas deal to release hostages. Hostage means what? Hostage, noun, singular, hostages, plural. Hostage means a person held by someone and who is released only when the demands are met. Someone who has been held or seized. You can say prisoner, but prisoner has a different connotation. Someone who has been held by a particular organization, and also the person is released on a, a few demands. Hostage, here you have to recollect one combination, hostage crisis. Right now, we have hostage crisis, important expression. The Israel Hamas deal to release hostages and Palestinian prisoners in return for a pause in fighting offers a much needed humanitarian relief to the 2.3 million people of the Gaza Strip who have been living in unspeakable misery since October 7th. A lengthy sentence, but what does it mean? A deal, a particular deal. What is that deal? The Israel Hamas deal to release hostages and Palestinian prisoners in return for a pause in fighting. This particular, in return for a pause in fighting, it offers something. What does it offer? A much needed humanitarian relief. Here you can also think of the word much needed respite. What is the meaning of the word respite? Means to break, take a break, respite. Much needed respite or much needed humanitarian relief to the 2.3 million people of the Gaza Strip, means that particular belt. Here you can also use the word belt, that means area. Gaza Strip, who have been living. Answer my question, which tense is this? Who have been living in unspeakable misery. I'm sure you all know the word miserable. This is one word form. What is the word form used here? Misery. Someone is in distress, a very bad situation, suffering a lot, either mental agony or physical agony. We use miserable life. He is in misery, great distress. Which tense is that? Since October 7. Whenever you come across two prepositions, one for, the other one since, you have to think of two tenses, one present perfect, the other one present perfect continuous. Here, present perfect continuous has been used. According to the deal, now this lengthy sentence talks about the deal and what is the impact of the deal, who is going to get benefited, how long they have been suffering. It talks about that. Now it is about the actual deal. According to the deal, clinched in talks mediated by Qatar. Clinch, there is one important word. Clinch means what? To get or to obtain. And usually it goes with a business context. Business, they clinched a business deal. Means what? They got a business deal. Settle. You can also use that word. According to the deal, clinched in talks mediated by Qatar, Hamas will release 50 civilian hostages, while Israel will release 150 Palestinian prisoners. This is a deal. 50 civilian hostages will be released by Hamas, and 150 Palestinian prisoners will be released by Israel. Both sides will also halt fighting for 4 days. How long is the respite? Only 4 days. And both sides will also halt. Here we have future, even here we have future tense, will also halt, stop fighting for 4 days. The Israeli government has stated that if Hamas releases more hostages, the pause in fighting could be extended. Now, there's a possibility. There's a condition. What is a condition? If Hamas releases more hostages, the pause in fighting could be extended. Usually, whenever you come across the word if, you have to become alert and you have to think of conditionals. And to decide the conditional, you have to look at the main clause. Sometimes you can decide based on the if clause. If Hamas releases more hostages, which tense is this? Present tense. Here, if clause is in present tense. That means open conditional, and main clause should be in future tense. But here you don't see future. Please listen very carefully. Here you see could be extended. Future means what? Possibility. May happen, may not happen. Here the helping verb, it has four functions. One of the functions, it is used to express the possibility. Possibility, brackets, less chances. Chances, but less chances. That you have to recollect. But standard pattern here we have to say, if Hamas releases more hostages, the pause in fighting will be extended. Future passive voice. Here in place of will, the writer has used a could just to tell that there is a possibility, but the chances are less. Offering, and because of this possibility, this offers something. Offering a glimmer of hope, a ray of hope also you can think of, for securing a more sustained ceasefire. For securing, here it means what? For getting a more sustained ceasefire. There are one important word, sustain. I'm sure you all know sustainable goals. We also talk about sustainable practices, but that meaning is different. Here, this meaning is different. Sustainable means what? To use the resources in a wise manner, to use the resources in such a way that future generations can also enjoy the resources. But in this context, to sustain means maintain. I usually give an example. I started teaching. Initially, students were interested a particular topic. After some time, they lost interest. Then what will I say? I could not sustain their interest. I could not sustain their interest. What does it mean? I could not, you can also think of the word maintain, Also the word hold. I could not hold their interest. Based on that, for securing a more sustained ceasefire for a longer period, Hamas captured about 240. Now it provides a background information. Hamas captured about 240 hostages during its October 7 cross border attack in Israel, in which at least 1,200 people were killed. So October 7th, something happened. What exactly happened? Hamas launched its attack and it captured 240 hostages during its October 7th cross-border attack. And in that attack, how many people got killed or were killed? At least 1,200 people were killed. It is in past passive voice. When Israel launched its counter-attack, based on that attack by Hamas, Israel launched its counter-attack the same day. It promised to crush Hamas, eliminate security threats from Gaza for good, an important expression. Here, eliminate for good, but generally we use it with leave a place for good. Tell me what is the meaning of the idiomatic expression for good? For good means permanently. He has left the city for good. What does it mean? He has left the city permanently. That's an important idiom. From Gaza for good, eliminate security threats from Gaza for good means forever, permanently, once for all, and free the hostages. It promised to crush Hamas, eliminate security threats from Gaza for good, and free the hostages. In the past, based on that, in the past 6 weeks, Israeli attacks have turned, present perfect, Gaza into a graveyard. The whole place has been turned into a graveyard, killing at least 13,000 Palestinians, a vast majority of them women and children. 13,000 Palestinians were killed because of this continuous attack by Israel, and among them, many majority women and children. But Israel simultaneously began indirect talks with Hamas. On the one hand, they started attacking. On the other hand, they started simultaneously indirect talks with Hamas, seeking to free hostages, which resulted in the current deal. They started two things: one, attacking; second, indirect talks with Hamas, seeking to free hostages. Because of the second thing, it resulted in the current deal. But this is not enough. What the people of Gaza, who have been bombed, shelled, displaced, and denied essential supplies such as food, fuel, and medicines, immediately want is a lasting ceasefire. A lengthy sentence, but it says this is not enough. What is enough? What is required? What the people of Gaza, who have been bombed, shelled, displaced, and denied essential supplies, this is in present perfect tense, passive voice. Very good. I appreciate that. Such as food, fuel, and medicines, immediately want. What they want is a lasting solution, a lasting ceasefire. Main idea is being reiterated. Israel initially refused to have any talks with Hamas terrorists and promised to dismantle the Islamist militant group. There's one word here: dismantle. Tell me which part of speech is it? Dismantle. It's a verb, it's a regular verb. Dismantle means what? Take into pieces. You take something into pieces, or you take a particular thing and you remove the parts of that, remove the parts of something. Then what do we say? Dismantle. In this context, it means they are going to remove that group once for all, dismantle or disturb that group, the Islamist militant group. Israel's anger was understandable. Past. Israel is very angry. Israel's anger was understandable given the horrors unleashed by Hamas. Horrors. I'm sure you all know the word horror. Here it has been used in the plural form, but horror movies, something that creates fear, or becomes scary, something that is scary. We use the word horror. Those acts, horrors, plural form. Given the horrors unleashed by Hamas, unleash, an important word. What does it mean? Release. Unleash means release. In the past, once or twice, I talked about Benjamin Netanyahu. Once I listened to his speech. He was talking to the youngsters of his country. He said, all the youngsters have tremendous potential. All that you have to do, you have to unleash your potential. You all have a lot of potential to achieve success. Sky is the limit. But what are you supposed to do? You have to unleash your potential. Do remember an important word. It goes with youngsters like you. Israel's anger was understandable given the horrors unleashed by Hamas, means committed by Hamas, done by Hamas. But in its response, a vengeful Israel, vengeful, you have to recollect words like revenge, avenge, and also vindictive, taking revenge. I know, Manasa, I do remember. That's why you recollected immediately. But in its response, a vengeful Israel means what? Israel is seeking revenge, avenge, vindictive, stand, all these you can think of. He is collectively punishing the people of Gaza. It is like this: a particular group has committed crime. Because of that, sensible, you should touch that particular group. Now, what is happening in that part of the world? A lot of innocent people punishing the people of Gaza. Here you have women, children, innocent people. That cannot be justified. Several Israeli ministers have issued dangerous and repugnant statements. An important word, repugnant statements. Which part of speech is it? Repugnant statements. Statements are noun. Here it is an adjective, obviously. Repugnant behavior, repugnant statement means disgusting, something you hate, something you don't feel like doing, you don't feel like listening to, you don't feel like looking at. Repugnant statement, not acceptable. What are those? From nuclear threats to welcoming epidemics in southern Gaza. This is definitely repugnant, disgusting. They wanted epidemics to happen in southern Gaza. That is not something acceptable, not something sensible. Here you have to recollect three words: endemic, epidemic, and pandemic. All the three words you have to know. Endemic, restricted to a small region, a particular disease spread in a small region, endemic. Larger region, across a country or across a state, epidemic. Across countries around the world, pandemic. All the three words you have to know. But after 6 weeks of fighting, Israel is far from achieving, an important expression, far from achieving its own declared objectives. That means they haven't achieved, they are far from achieving, which raises questions about the effectiveness of its military strategy. Again, an important word we come across quite often: rise, raise. Now, it should be at your fingertips, the difference between these two words. It stormed Al Shifa Hospital, Gaza's largest medical facility, alleging that a Hamas command center was located beneath it, under it. Alleging. Allege is a verb, but generally we use the noun form. What is a noun form? Allegation. Here you have to recollect the word accusation. Say that someone has committed crime without proof. Alleging that a Hamas command center was located beneath it. More than a week since, means since that time, A week has been over, more than a week since Israel is yet to produce any credible evidence to back this claim. They claimed that Hamas command center was located beneath a particular hospital. A week is over, but it hasn't produced credible evidence to back that claim. Yet to produce, that's an important expression. Exonerate, stop, free from blaming. Credible, I think we got yesterday also. What is opposite? Incredible. Did we get yesterday? Believable, unbelievable, incredible. Credible evidence, credible news, credible information, authentic information, very good. Today I'm not reading out the names, but I appreciate all those who have been responding. But the fact that Israel and Hamas have reached present perfect a deal suggests that both sides are ready to engage with each other, even amidst high decibel propaganda and bloody fighting. Right now, bloody fighting is going on. In spite of that, they are willing to come forward. They have come forward. They're ready to engage with each other, means discuss or negotiate, even amidst. There are two words here. One is each other. Which part of speech is it? It is a pronoun. And which type of pronoun? A reciprocal pronoun. There are two reciprocal pronouns you have to recollect. One is each other, the other one another. What is the difference between these two? Each other goes with two persons or two things. One another goes with more than two. And here already someone has written amidst, you can also say in the midst of something. What does it mean? In the middle of something. Very good. I appreciate those. Reciprocal pronouns, that's true. High decibel related to sound, propaganda, campaign, and bloody fighting. So many people are dying. They should build on the momentum generated by the deal and extend the pause into a full fledged ceasefire. Now it is only for 4 days. They got an opportunity. There's a momentum. They have to use that and extend this pause into a full fledged, complete ceasefire. That is the only way to release all the hostages, provide lasting relief to the Palestinians, and calm spiraling tensions in West Asia. That is a solution. At the fag end of the editorial provides, says, what is a solution? They should not resort to a short respite like 4 days, 1 week. It should be extended into a full fledged ceasefire. If they do that, what will happen? This is the only way to release all the hostages. That will happen. Provide lasting relief to the Palestinians, second advantage, and calm spiraling tensions in West Asia. Here we have an important word. RBI, first one to introduce a particular exam topic. What is it? It is known as sync model. Sync is a short form of synchronize match. They gave this exam topic, they give two sentences, each sentence with a blank and five options. You have to choose a word that goes with both the sentences, and meaning should be perfect, context should be perfect, grammatically the word should fit. So this is known as a sync model. First time when they came out with this model exam topic, they gave this spiral. Spiral, one meaning coiled, you all know that. The other meaning spiral, it goes with prices. Here they have used tensions. It also goes with wages, salaries. We use the adjective form spiraling, spiraling prices, spiraling. Here it has been used tensions. Means what? To go up continuously. To go up continuously, spiraling, spiraling prices, spiraling tensions. An important word you may get in sync model. Very important. That's all about today's editorial. Let us go to questions based on this editorial. 5 questions I have brought. What is the primary focus of the editorial? Primary focus, main objective. What is it? Look at the options and try to get all the 5 correct. Oh, who is this Varaprasad? This year's Singh model given in PO mains. Which PO mains? IBPS PO mains. Very good. Thank you, Varaprasad. That's an important exam topic. Praise for Israel's military strategy? No. Criticism of Hamas? Concerns about the humanitarian situation in Gaza? Answer is C. How many hostages does Hamas agree to release in their deal? How many hostages does Hamas agree to release in their deal? Easy to answer based on explicit information. All that you have to do to answer a question based on explicit information, you have to navigate, locate the keywords, and get the answer. It is not C. Oh, how come you missed it? It is 50, 50. Question number 2, answer is the first option. What does the editorial suggest is the immediate desire of the people in Gaza? People in Gaza, what is the immediate desire? Military victory, lasting ceasefire, further escalation of conflict, continued hostilities? No way. So, what is the answer here? The question is about Hamas. Hamas, how many, Anusha? 50, 50. Answer is B, lasting ceasefire. The editorial begins with those words. How many Palestinians are estimated to have been killed in the past 6 weeks, according to the editorial? Look at the keywords. How many Palestinians are estimated to have been killed? Passive voice, non finite verb. In the past 6 weeks, according to the editorial. No problem. Sometimes it happens. And here I'm not giving enough time. I appreciate you guys a lot because you guys respond within no time. This is a live session. I ask a question, perhaps 10 seconds time lag. You guys answer. Sometimes it happens. What is the answer? 13,000. What is the suggested next step for Israel and Hamas after the hostage release deal? What is the future? What is the next step? Escalate hostilities, continue indirect talks, build on the momentum and extend the pause into a full fledged ceasefire, initiate nuclear threats. You can eliminate effortlessly based on contextual awareness and sheer common sense, build on the momentum and extend the pause into a full fledged, means complete ceasefire. That's all for today. Because of hectic schedule, today I could not bring practice questions. Sorry about that. I hope you guys have got enriched. Do remember to subscribe and share. I will see you guys tomorrow with practice questions and editorial analysis. Yesterday, someone asked tips for descriptive English. Is that person here? I don't remember the name. Sure, I will do that, Pandu.